Welcome to Perspectives in Mobile, the news podcast from the Mobile Ecosystem Forum. Join us discussing the world of telecommunications, technology, and mobile innovations.
Welcome to a new episode of my podcast series Perspective, in which experts and industry leaders talk about what they think, see, and expect in the world of technology, telecommunications, and innovative mobile services. I am Riccardo Amati. How to leverage data and AI to produce content that matches customers' intent. To talk about the new frontier of digital marketing, I'm very happy to have Marina Petrova, the CEO and founder of Intentful. Welcome, Marina.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Marina is a frequent speaker on the practical use of AI and innovation. She talked about it at Oxford University, Singularity University, the World Federation of Advertisers, and so on. She talks now with MEF. Marina, what exactly you guys do at Intentful? Would you describe the business?
So briefly, at Intentful, we tailor AI solutions to be done towards the company's business. So we teach the AI models to know companies, brands, business, facts, brand's voice and style, so that unlike models like ChatGPT that does not know your business and does not know any proprietary information, companies can have their own AI model that is secure, that is only theirs, and that is not shared with anyone else, but it is trained on the company information. And that way you get a super powerful assistant that can help optimize so many processes.
Yeah, so it's about services, and what areas in particular?
It's not necessarily services. So, for example, absolutely any company can have their own AI model. So, think of it as ChatGPT, but it's not ChatGPT, but it is an AI model that knows everything that you wanted to know. So you are teaching it to become a super capable assistant in any way that you want. And once you have the Gen AI model that knows your business or your brand, then there are literally thousands of use cases that can be applied across multiple industries and directions. So it could be knowledge management, it could be customer service, it could be content creation, it could be absolutely anything.
Right. Who are your clients, if you have some example?
In most cases, we cannot we cannot say the client names, but we work with clients all over the world. We have clients in the US, in Europe, and in Asia. And many companies are still in the discovery phase. So we, as Intentful, we started in 2021. That was before the world learned about ChatGPT, and we started with the use case of bringing together data and AI. So it's not just using AI for content creation, because it's just, why? But informing AI what kind of content needs to be created. That's what we started with in 2021. That was still when it was GPT-3. We are now in way more advanced technological era than it was before. So we then started with companies who were brave enough to give it a try and use AI, and they continue working with us today because they see the results, they see the optimization that it brings, and so on. So it is, but the reason I mention it is because many companies are still in very early discovery stages of how and where they can start applying AI in what they do in daily work. But I would say there is hardly any company in the world right now that is not looking at this. Some are more advanced and they are already trying, they are already launching POCs and pilots. And again, as I mentioned, some of those early adopters are already seeing significant results in what they do. Others are just identifying what the use cases are and how to apply it securely, which is one obviously of the most important things, because everyone has a concern that so that their data doesn't get leaked, not used anywhere on the world, in the internet. I think we're going to see a lot of changes, but a lot of adoption in the next 12 to 18 months, and we'll see more and more companies saying that they start using AI.
And tell me more about the inception of the company, if you can. Okay, you told me why you did it, but how it happened? I mean, what was your background? What the other co-founder were doing before? I mean, something,
Right.
just to have a story.
Oh, that is an interesting story. So my background is in marketing and advertising in media, and that was before. And then I also spent about 10 years in online travel business. And then the pandemic came, and then there wasn't really much travel and business. That's when we brought together, we merged my company and another company. And we co-founded Places. It was called Places. It was in the travel space at that time. And we were looking how to evolve, how to develop in a post-pandemic world. And one of the clients, actually we had two clients that were in the publishing space, and they were interested in using the travel platform that we had with e-commerce in their existing publishing space. And we had to create multiple pages of content for those platforms. And that was post-pandemic. So you can imagine that it was, events are open and closing, mask, no mask, vaccination. There is all this information that needs to be updated on a constant basis. And it was clear, and they also wanted to launch relatively quickly. They needed thousands of pages of content in just several weeks. So there is really no way to do this. And then we started looking into AI because there was already some mention of it, and we got accepted into OpenAI's beta program, closed beta program at that time, with the use case of bringing together data and AI. And we did create those thousands of pages of content in the record period of time.
That's super interesting.
And because it was, and it was because it was data driven.
Sure.
It was driven according to, we knew exactly what people were searching for about those particular destinations, so about those particular events and activities. So that was used to tell AI what kind of content to create. And we had humans obviously involved in the process, double checking all of that. So we published all those pages, and in just several weeks, most of that content was on the first page of Google. Right. And we're like, yeah, probably there isn't really much business in Google. But also, honestly, the very first minute, the very first time when there was that click to create content with the help of AI, it was so obvious that this is going to change the world. And not just in content creation, but literally in everything, because generative AI, and we see this now. We see this happening now.
Right. It's incredible how a tragedy as the pandemic was an incubator for so many things at the end of the day. But being an incubator for an AI company which started with traveling during the pandemic, that's fantastic. That's it takes some courage, some strength. So content creation, one of the main aspects of what we are talking about. How AI is changing it?
In all sorts of ways. So it's first, of course, there is this efficiency of doing things faster. But there is so much more than that. And let's talk about some of this. So first of all, I always suggest not using ChatGPT or just any open platform that is not trained to know the company's business, because it does not know your brand, it does not know the voice, it does not know the style, it does not know anything about your customers, anything about the goals. So yes, you can use it to speed things up, but it would still require a lot of editing and a lot of manual work to get to what you want it to be. Once you have the model that knows the business, that's when that efficiency truly comes in. And that's the first part of how content creation is changing. So you can have your AI-powered assistant. You still need to have humans involved. We always say that it is human and artificial intelligence combined. We strongly advocate, and we being as Intentful, we strongly advocate against all sorts of just click the button and let it go so that it is fully automated. You need to have at least 2 or 3 people involved in reviewing what has been done. So first is the efficiency. The second one is the relevance, because AI lets you create so much more. In that description that I was just mentioning, that you can have data insights, so you know what exactly you want to create. If we're talking for marketing purposes, you have your multiple audience segments, and you want to make sure that what you create is actually relevant to them.
Absolutely.
And that's what they are interested in. And that's where AI is huge. We often get asked, like, is it going to be that because of AI there will be so much spam? That's possible, yes, but it's up to us how responsible we want to be in terms of what content we produce. And I have to say that Google and others have been doing quite a good job in terms of filtering, and it's always about that helpful content. So to find the right match between what customer is interested or end user reader is interested in, and matching with the content that exists. The third one is multilingual component, because with how AI is developing and what's happening with languages now, oh my God, you can have your knowledge base in English, but you can ask questions. I interact with it. I try experiment in Ukrainian, for example. That's where I'm originally from. But we also have customers around the world, and we ask them to ask in different languages. And it's next to perfect. It's really, really
One
good.
can see that it's getting better. I mean, week after week, literally. I mean,
Yes.
it's evolving very rapidly in terms of languages. Yeah, and
Yes, and just one quick thing, but I would like to, again, to
sure.
emphasize that it is not aimed to replace humans. Yes, we are going through a transition of how AI is being used as a tool, but it is a tool, and it is the responsible use of AI that we all need to adopt, of what we do with it, how we create content. And it actually does help with creativity as well. It does help spark ideas. It does help come up with things that might take longer for us humans to come up with.
Yeah, but just an example. I mean, I'll take it from my area, okay, publishing, editorial, this kind of stuff. Once upon a time, even now, if you want to have more subscribers for your newspapers, normally you do surveys. Is that becoming obsolete? Is AI?
Yes.
Yes, right. Well,
Yes.
because what you were saying, yeah. Explain why.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So no more surveys.
No. I mean, I honestly, personally, I'm so much against service for a very long time, even before AI, because there is a great book called Everybody Lies by Seth Stevens-Davidowitz,
Right.
and it talks about why people actually, you should not be using service. I mean, there are still obviously cases where you should, but there are so many biases, like social desirability bias, where we're being asked about something. We just, not because we want to give the wrong answer, but we just don't say the right thing. We don't say the true thing. So survey is not always the most accurate way to get the right picture.
And of course, AI could do that. I mean, can understand what the
Yes.
people want.
Yes, it is. And so, for example, there is one use case that we are launching for a client right now, where you have what's called social listening, right? In the open ways of seeing what people talk about, anonymized. There is no first-party data in that information. So there is feedback that the brand can collect, and social listening existed for some time. However, it used to be that you get positive, negative, neutral sentiment. What AI lets you do it now is get it to a much, much deeper level, so you can analyze every single message and use AI to respond to every single message reviewed by a human.
Sure.
But if you have, as I was explaining, like you have your own AI model for your brand, for your particular use case, and then you have that social listening, raw data and information where you know what exactly people are concerned about or what kind of questions that you have. So you bring the two together, and you immediately, almost in seconds, can create the answers based on what you really want to say, and then just have a human review all of that, if that makes sense, if it doesn't make sense, or make edits as needed. But it is taking all interaction with information to completely different levels.
That's a very clear example. AI and creativity, friends or foes?
Friends. In my point of view, friends, there will be some adoption that needs to happen. And I've been managing creative agencies for some time and working with creative people all over the world also for some time. I know there will be some pushback, but once there is understanding that it is actually a helpful tool, because you still need to be a human to add the human touch, to show emotions, to get that connection. So humans need to be involved, but AI can significantly help with generating ideas, or not really generating ideas, but creating more or directing you towards the idea that sometimes we can get stuck as humans.
Okay, $1 million question or $64 question if you want.
Okay.
Is it possible to keep AI safe while making money from it? I mean, of course it's possible, but what's the key? How you need to reason about that? How you need to think about that for having these two things together?
I think that companies like OpenAI, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta have been doing a great job so far with making sure that the access to the AI models is open. However, it is managed in such a way that it does not get into the hands of bad actors, and that also there are guardrails in place to make sure that it is used responsibly. That's one part, and I really applaud them for everything they have been doing so far. The other part is, are we getting into the Skynet scenario? Is AI dangerous? Is it going to take over the world? I don't have the answer, but I know that there are, of course, a lot of researchers that are looking into this right now. There are several people to follow on LinkedIn and read what's going on in that area. But it is a serious question, and I know that researchers make sure that, again, that the developments and the progress and the evolution of the technology is being closely looked at to make sure that it stays safe and at the same time actually helps humanity and not destroys it.
Yeah, generative AI is a big question mark, probably. Going back to your company, what are the latest developments, if you can tell some?
There is so much going on, to be honest, and we love this, being extremely busy. So we have now conversations and POC, proof of concept launches all over the world. And with how AI is getting adopted in multiple companies, we help those companies find the right way, where and how to apply AI in their existing workflows, because we believe that one size does not fit all. It is not a box product. So
Right.
You need to have your own how and where you add AI so that it solves your particular pain points. It's not about breaking the existing processes. It's optimizing and enhancing and finding new ways to get revenue. So during the last several months, weeks, years, we have been actively helping companies all around the world. I'm in Zurich now, but I'm what I call a world tour. So during the last several weeks, I started in Singapore, then the Philippines, then London, then Zurich, and then Paris.
Yeah, it's sort of difficult to identify where we were.
Yes, exactly.
And
exactly.
you're joining us from Zurich now, isn't it?
Yes, today. But yes, so we have lots of new products, new approaches, and there is something. Also, that's also another thing to talk about AI. It is. Obviously, AI is often compared with such major advances in human history as the discovery of fire or the invention of the wheel. The thing is that none of us lived through this. So this is change, and this is a major change. This is happening, and change is hard because we as humans are wired to fight or flight change. And with everything that is in the AI space is changing so fast, and it's literally changing on a daily basis. So at Intentful, we are in that change mode all the time. And I think I learned to live with it.
Right.
But yes, so it's an interesting balance between managing change, bringing innovation, and helping businesses how and where to add AI and help them manage change.
It must be difficult to decide where to focus. I mean, or what would be the focus of your company in the next few years, let's say?
We continue helping companies find the right way where to apply AI in their business, but do this not just from consulting point of view, but from the practical implementation point of view, because that's what we do. And that's why, the talks that I usually give are on the practical use of AI. So not just the hype, but where exactly, in what part of the workflow can you apply it so that it solves a particular question, particular issue, and brings efficiency to your team or brings new revenue, for example. So we will continue with that. And our core approach, as I mentioned, is tailoring Gen AI to clients' business, to companies' business, and creating safe, secure Gen AI models that know the client's plans.
We're talking about growth. What are your expectations for that? What targets you have?
Sorry, can you repeat? Explain?
Excuse me, I have a flu actually, so
so sorry.
Difficult. Sorry about that. But no, about the expectation for growth in the company. You were talking about, your business, and what are your expectations for growth, or your target if you have some? What's your plan here?
We do have high targets, ambitious targets in terms of what we want to achieve. I cannot disclose the exact numbers, but we know that we are uniquely positioned in terms of the expertise that we have and in terms of the knowledge and that practical side of things. And also given the interest that the world has now on how to start using generative AI or AI in their business, we are growing super fast.
So again, about future expectations, for example, do you plan to be in the stock market at some stage?
That is an announcement that's hopefully coming soon, but I cannot talk about this right now.
But there'll be an announcement. That's interesting. Good to know.
Yes.
Good to know. And I would talk about company values, because we were talking about that, in the last 20 minutes, actually, because, of course, when we are talking about a business which has to do with AI, values are very, very important. Are they changed from the inception of the company to today? Did you have an idea about values when you started? And talk about it, please.
Okay. Great question. Actually, we are still, we do have the same everything as we started on day one. I mean, the product is evolving, the solutions are evolving, the list of clients is fortunately growing. But it's been, from day one, it's been bringing together data and AI in a secure way and in a productive way that helps our clients grow their business or find the solutions to optimize what they need to. So when I say bringing together data and AI, that's the example that I was given in the beginning of how we started the company, and that was just for one of the use cases. Right now, we continue where data just becomes a little bit bigger. So for some of the companies, it could be in the e-commerce space. For others, it could be in telecommunications space, and so on. So everyone has their own data points, and actually, it's interesting because companies have so much data now, but they don't really do much with it or don't know how and where to apply it. And then when you bring it together with the power of AI, you get unimaginable efficiencies. However, that also comes with a lot of responsibility and a lot of change management, because it's not just clicking one button and getting the results. Because just to give you an example, and I'll get back to your original initial question. To give you an example, so for example, if we talk about content creation, which is just one of the things, right? So someone used to create 3 articles a day, whatever they are. Now, with the help of AI, they can create 30 or 300, actually, if they want to. But then a human brain is not wired to be able to review all of that with the attention to detail that it requires. So that means that the workflow process that is changing is not only makes it possible to create more, but that more people actually need to be involved to review that. And it doesn't mean that it is, where is the efficiency? No, there is still a huge efficiency because you can create way more relevant, and I emphasize relevant content that engages with your audiences and so on. So it's the change that we're about to continue seeing is not obvious, not straightforward, not direct. We will be adjusting to this change going forward. And going back to a question about values and our vision as a company, this has been from day one. Responsible use of AI, bringing together data and AI, and helping companies use AI to solve their problems.
Marina Petrova, CEO and co-founder of Intentful. Thank you, Marina.
Thank you. Thanks for the questions.
That's all for this episode of Perspectives, the MEF podcast in which experts and leaders talk about the world of technology, telecommunication, and innovative mobile services. Till the next episode, from Riccardo Amati, goodbye and good luck with your work.
Thanks for listening to Perspectives in Mobile. Join us next as we explore telecoms, technology, and mobile innovations. Stay tuned, stay connected, and let's unlock the mobile potential together.